Looks like we are live. Let me turn that down a little bit. If that's too quiet, let me know. How are you guys doing tonight? All right. So I've been working over the weekend on kind of playing around with this particular section of the marketplace. Roughing in some more stuff, trying to get an idea of maybe do I want more houses out there, that type of thing. Obviously super placeholdery right now along with this area, but specifically kind of playing around with some of these features that we've discussed. So this has turned into it turns into a stage, which originally I think I was envisioning something over here, but I liked it better over here. And then what did we do? I was talking with Hamad, and we were talking maybe making it kind of a little bit more of like an amphitheater. And this is supposed to be the Bard's Guild, is my understanding. So, kind of made a little stage, little backstage area, and then there's a trapdoor that I need to get to work that takes you down to the little like training area underneath where the spell merchants and stuff can be. So, played around with that. Got some of these houses traversable. Started adding windows last night, which I'll probably be doing some more of in a bit. Some of these were a little funky, and I may end up redoing them at some point. Like this one's a little kind of funky. Oh yeah, there's another thing I wanted to fix back here. I wanted to fix this. I just thought of that. Let's do that while I'm thinking of it. There we go. I should probably just merge these two on top of each other. Like so. Oops, hold on. I don't have my UV stuff open. Let's bring this over here. There we go. Alright. So, like I said, kind of played around with some of this stuff. And again, everything's kind of super placeholder. A lot of it was just kind of playing around with some of Goblin, like elements of the concepts that Goblin has done. Where is... I'm trying to grab some more of these. So these, right now, actually, you know what? Now that I see this, these actually aren't shaped properly. They should be more... like this. Oops. Sure I don't have any other weird selections, which I did. So these should be more... Hold on. Alright, I'm not going to have to do this so you guys can see it. But I'm just kind of matching the angle. I should have been actively looking at that when I was working on it, and I was not. The funny thing is, I had the image open right there, and I just neglected to look. So, those are more reminiscent of the shape. So let's there's going to be some issues with these now. So I'm going to fix these. And let's delete this. And we'll just duplicate this one. As opposed to sitting there and redoing this on all of them, like I just did. And again, you know, this stuff may change. It's more kind of just getting some visual tests. The textures are definitely not what we'll use. But just kind of playing around with some of these elements while building out some of these structures to see if they're going to play like we see in some of the concepts, and whether we like it or not. So, play with that for now. Oh, my ear's itchy. Alright. So, yeah. I'll run around and show you guys once more if you hop in. Hey, Zukin, how's it going? But, let's get started with what I wanted to do. So I've got this building roughed in. I've got the top floor of this building roughed in. I need to do the bottom floor for this one still. But I want to get some more windows and stuff in these larger ones. Hey Goblin, how's it going? So, playing around with that, but also trying to keep them not, you know, a little bit more asymmetrical, so the windows are kind of a little bit, you know, not evenly distributed, similar to some of these concepts. Although they are pretty uniform right there. I'll probably change that up. Since it's the first time I've looked at it from this angle. I put this on there earlier this morning. That almost looks like a duck head with the beak. Let's get rid of that. First thing you see as you walk into the marketplace, the duck-headed building. Okay. Okay, that's a little better. Is it crooked or is the camera just crooked? No, it's the camera. It's this. I hate how it does this. So, like, that kind of straightens it out a bit, but I've gotten so used to it. It seems to be just a Unity camera bug that gets really annoying when you're trying to get really precise. The parts that are probably the most annoying are buildings like this that are at an angle. They're not at the world. Like, they don't align with the cardinal directions of the grid. So you naturally have them kind of drifting in perspective anyways, and then the camera's rotated, and it's just like, what is going on? It can get really annoying real fast. Okay, so let's start with this larger building. So I've got, I think stairs are in the back of this one. Maybe a window here, window here. These are just, I just threw on the blank material on that, so there's no color to them currently. Trying to see if there's any good views. That should probably be a window. And I've been doing kind of combinations of different windows, more rectangular, more square. A couple of the more pointed ones here and there. Can we get an overview of the whole place? Not to slow you down. I just want to. Don't want to slow you down. It's just you've made so much progress. Yeah, Goblin. I'll give a quick overview in a moment. There's more people popping in. I was waiting for more for the viewer count to go up a little bit more before I started running around. But I can do that in like a minute or two. Just let me finish this window. Now that people are starting to pop in. How's everybody's evening going? Okay, so let me fix this real quick so it's actually traversable. Save. I need to make that an actual like clickable door. I put the database entry in earlier. I just haven't actually gotten around to setting it up. Keith says, do not question Paytas' design process. He works at the exact 1.61803 degree. Oh, I wish I didn't work at that strange rotation. But alas, Unity. Yeah, I have no idea why it does that. 7 a.m. Okay, so to kind of get you guys, let's not drive this regulated society. Waiting for the game at 9. Otherwise, not much going on. Nice. All right, guys. So this was that building I was working on last time, just to kind of orient you to where I've been focusing. So I was working on this area, just trying to get some more of it traversable, and then playing around with some elements from some of the concepts. So like these little awnings, I had to put more of these like shelf stand, like market stands in here, and just kind of playing around with different elements between the concepts and things like that. I had talked to Hamad, and the idea is the bards were going to kind of have their guild hall, their class guild hall, kind of on the stage, or at the stage that was going to be in the marketplace. So originally I thought about kind of making like a stage area on this building, which originally had extended probably actually all the way over to this building right here, and kind of making a cool like raised platform on it. But Sean had mentioned a stage, and I was like, okay, well, I'm like, that whole area really could fit a stage in there, so I threw one in quickly. And then me and Ham were talking, and we talked about maybe it being more kind of an amphitheater, so not gigantic by any means, but a little stage here. So then you can go kind of backstage. There's some rooms, and then just kind of other areas we could potentially put stuff. And then I made a trapdoor. So we had talked about maybe potentially having like spell trainers and stuff down, kind of hidden underneath the stage trapdoor. So just kind of rooms that we could put spell trainers in, or whatever, kind of training grounds. Ladder's gigantic right now because I haven't actually made a ladder. It's just the one Sean had made. I've just been scaling it visually just to have something there. I will eventually make one, and then kind of adding some of these stalls, or these could be where either stalls are, or just kind of old school EverQuest where there's your market vendor kind of just standing underneath the overhang. And then this area I put some stalls, so it looks more like a shop. And then you go upstairs here. Some views of the city. I might raise those windows height a little bit on some of these. And it's got a kind of a balcony view. Same thing over here. There's a balcony. I believe this is just just kind of a small room. And then got some areas up here. This originally had like an actual like overhang, and then kind of a pole right here, but I kind of took that out. It was starting to feel too much like some of the modern architecture in my area to a degree. So I found removing that kind of grounded it back in that kind of fantasy Arabian theme that we're going for. And then, like I said, just kind of playing around with potentially having some more houses and stuff down there, and then I just put a tree and some more trees over on the side. Definitely need to get some more greenery in here, but that'll be playing around with stuff as I get more and more of the space developed out. And then, there is a hole somewhere. That should not be... Right, that is... Alright, we're going to have to go in there and fix that. It looks like I moved that, and it's probably puncturing through the ground. Yeah, okay, there it is. Right there. Hey, Lord Sakram. This is looking good. Thanks, Keith. So, kind of up here. This needs a railing on this side eventually. And this goes up into another house. It kind of has a lot of windows. I might end up closing off some of them. I don't know. We'll see. That one doesn't give as good a view as I thought. I think I actually have to lower this one. And then these ones kind of look down through here. And this one kind of goes up on top. And we got a building over here. That kind of goes out into that, in one of those kind of shady back alleys. And then I think both floors, if I remember correctly, are pretty much the same. Except this one has a little room. And then there's a balcony over here. But if you go up to the next one, that room is kind of a just a balcony. I debated potentially making another level up onto the roof, but I don't know. I might keep it this way. I might add it. I haven't committed, so I haven't committed either way. I haven't made it so I can't easily extend up one more level. Or I can just put a kind of railing banister type thing right there. So that'll be one of those things I'll probably revisit at some point, whether I want to do that or not. And then just got this tiny little shop. Another kind of room off to the side. Well, it's more of like a storage area. Potentially could have just merchants in it. If we wanted it to be a little bit bigger, I could extend it and then just shift all this stuff down. I may end up doing that. Kind of these back areas. Turn this into a stairway. Goes into that area, and then this one's just kind of a larger area on top. I could probably see, two. I could potentially use that space to make that room larger. Problem would be ogres would not be able to walk around in there. But again, I'm not worried too much about that. I could also move this up to here and then push this down. So I might do that, because even a human is going to be really close to kind of clipping that. So we'll see. I may change that in the future. And we got this room, and then this is the one that I have not started working on underneath yet. So maybe another storefront here. Maybe one coming from the side. I also debated kind of doing another one of these areas. Oh, I don't think I showed this one. So kind of a below the street level. Kind of utilize some more of that space to make a small little apartment. Got some more rooms over here. So again, all this stuff is subject to change, and a lot of it's just kind of experimenting, trying to get a flow that feels good. Some of these spaces are a little smaller, like this one was a little bit smaller. I even had to angle the ceiling a little bit to make this building work. This building was a pain in the butt, but like I said, it's one of the ones that if I axe any of them, that probably might be end up being one of them, or extending it out more. Crouch animation? Well, sit. Hold on. What is our crouch command? X is sit. I don't know what our crouch command is. I forget. And it's not in the key bindings. We will have to add that. Oh, they don't work. But they're there. Okay. That would be why I can't find them. I'm like, I don't ever remember using the crouch in here yet. Okay. So I'm not going crazy. And then, let's see. Did you check the theater area concept for the park, by the way? Yeah, I did see that. That one should be fun to work on as well once we start getting into the park. Which will be a bit before I probably actually focus over there. For anybody who's not familiar. The park is that area. And there are some points of interest, including a theater that's going to be over there as well. But yeah, so gotten a bunch of stuff done over the week. And then, come on, land. And then made this little spot that has a kind of a basement cellar type area. I'm debating, actually, instead of it just being a... I'm debating... not debating. I am probably going to move this forward, because this is super tiny. But I'm debating this potentially having entrance into there, and this, like, this and the ground floor over here kind of sharing space, as opposed to that just being a tiny little entrance, because right now it's really not much of anything. So, yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on and playing around with over the weekend. Like I said, some of that stuff has been a little bit more trial and error. Trying something, running around, letting it, seeing how I felt about it, deciding I don't like something, changing it up. So, I'm sure that process will continue as I continue to develop out these areas. Ooh, that's going to be a little bit trickier to select. There we go. There we go. And then I'm going to have to fix those. Oop, that's not going to work. There we go. Not the greatest edge flow, but I may clean up some of this a little bit more. Part of the reason the edge flow is a little weird is because I've been doing a lot of these kind of extrusions to put in windows as opposed to trying to cut both sides, because I was getting tons and tons and tons and tons of extra edges and stuff. So I wanted to see how this is going to work, but I may go back to doing it the normal way. Stuff like that doesn't look so great. Not that anyone's going to see it except for you guys on stream. Okay. Maybe this is going to be a little bit larger of a window. Alright, so let's try... This is, again, one of those things I really wish Pro Builder gave me the ability just to delete edges, because it would make my life so much easier. If I could just delete an edge. Loop. Alright. That was not what I wanted. Alright, and we will get this the same dimensions. Let's see. 7, 5. There we go. And then just line these edges up. And then we'll clean up the windows. I just find it makes it a lot easier with the way these tools work. To just kind of stick it through the wall. Use it to line it up. Like so. Re-grab those. Line them back up. Delete. And delete. And it looks like I had an alignment issue and didn't catch it. Speaking of alignment issues, after I collapse these, let's go back and fix that issue. And that was over here. So one, this was apparently accidentally selected. And so is this. Oh. Well, that's what happened. Okay. We'll split those. And we'll try to find an angle. And we'll collapse those back together and collapse those back together. There we go. That should get rid of that weird shadow. Which actually I guess wasn't a shadow, it was light spilling into where it should have been a shadow. Sorry, my lips are getting super dry today. Alright. So that is fixed. We will save. And we will pop back over here. So, got those. Again, I'm not trying, I don't want to have every single building where it's like a perfect grid. Some of them I like playing around with. The one, you know, these are slightly off here. But I want to kind of play off some of these images that are a little bit more, you know, like this one is kind of off center of that type of a thing. So maybe this one would be a little bit like that. Oh, that's right. I was trying a couple different things with this area. That's why there's so many edges that I'm going to event. Again, if I had just had the ability to play and remove edge loops, my life would be so much easier. Because what I'm going to do is, in Maya, just delete these, essentially. When I do the conversion to the final FBX models. Actually, let's just... Oh, come on. Grab the wrong face. Let's back up. There we go. Didn't want to accidentally duplicate faces on top of faces. It's a fairly easy thing to do in 3D. Because you think you go far enough back, and then, oh, there's an extra face. That type of thing. This should probably be a thinner window. Surprised that kind of worked. Again, the edge flow on this is a little gross. But if it's, again, it's one of those things, like, if I'm going to clean it up, I'll probably just do it in Maya, because the cleanup tools are just so much easier using it as opposed to using actually, that's a little bit better. Let's try this again, now that I've got some edges kind of going where I want them. Okay, so that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but still, it's not perfect. But anyways, let's get back to cleaning this stuff up. And we will, there's those, and then I'm just going to collapse this down. Oops. There we go. Did I did exactly what I thought I did. There we go. Cool. All right. I want these a little lower. So that was a really jerky camera motion. I apologize. Let's see if do I want a window here or not. I kind of think I want at least one. Oops. Okay. And let's get rid of this edge too. While I'm at it. Oops. There we go. Oop. That is not centered on that. That looks better. Hold on a second. This wall needs to be. Moved slightly, which is probably going to cause a seam to open up, and it did. So I also kind of played with the train a bit off stream, where I broke it up. So now whatever's on this side isn't, and I've done this before on stream, but the side of the walls and stuff like that can be separate. So I can have one side that's, you know, has a higher elevation. Other side has a lower elevation. Why is that? Oh, that's right. That needs to move as well. But yeah, so I played around with the terrain a little bit, gave myself a little bit more ability to manipulate stuff, and it allows me to remove sections that are underneath buildings. So like if I want to go subterranean on them, I can do that easily enough. Looking good. Okay. Let's go back to this. So this is moved up. Oh, you know, I didn't finish this. Let's finish that real quick. That other thing distracted me. And we will collapse those vertices. Like so. Cool. That's just floating there for now, so I can just duplicate it and move it around if I need to. So those are making up those, and it needs one right there eventually. Actually, we can just do that right now, I guess. Is this at? Can it be that? Is that? Let's see if I can get this to line up. That angle might not be. Yeah, that angle's not exactly the same as the back wall. There we go. Did I delete? Did I duplicate that? Yes, okay. And I'll delete these extra pieces. the local snapping actually aligns with where I need it to, and it looks like it did. Awesome. And I can see that it messed up the, whatchamacallit there. Oops, I'm looking over here because I have it over there when I'm not on stream. Oh, excuse me. That's what I get for having dinner before I stream. You guys get to deal with my indigestion. Alright, so that's coming along. It's looking better. I eventually need to go through and make some of these a little bit more kind of oblong, I guess. Just kind of ununiform. For buildings like this. Because right now I just left them kind of straight, but those definitely need to be a little bit more kind of janky. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. Okay. So just kind of looking at it from different angles at this point. I guess this could take a window. I don't want to put a window. I could put a window here that's just for light, but I think I'm going to leave that alone because, like I said, I might explore expanding this out into here and playing around with that stuff. But I think that's what I'm going to sleep on before I commit. Do you know the plan for the UVs at this point? Are you talking about for the buildings? Because what I've been doing is laying out the UVs as I go with Pro Builder, and then my plan is to, if something's going to be using a trim or something like that, to do that. Do like the fine tuning of any UV work once I export this out and bring it into Maya, to export it out as an FBX. So they, you know, whatever Pro Builder builds me, you know, this is not great UVs by any means, but I can snap this stuff together. What is this piece that's just floating here? So apparently that needs to be grouped like that. So going through and cleaning up spots, I'm sure there's going to be more of them that, like, I've got most of the noticeable ones, and I try to get them as I can, but once I'm done with the initial kind of geopass and I start throwing just random textures on there, any weird ones should show up. And then, yeah, just kind of, you know, like if we decide to have some sort of trim running along this, just snap aligning that to the trim, in Maya, in my opinion, this is way easier. So, but this gives you, you know, nice quick layouts that are flat without having to do a ton of cleanup. So, it definitely has its benefits for certain things, and then its setbacks for others, pros and cons. But yeah, that's my plan, anyways. One thing that we need to figure out what we want to do is if we want the windows to be just open like this, or do we want like window frames? Or do we actually want windows? I'm kind of up for whatever. But that will be something we'll want to think about as, you know, that's more of like an art pass type thing, just like the door frames and stuff like that. Right now I'm not too worried about that. We'll just leave it with this. This already has a couple windows. Oop, that needs to be finished. Did I? Okay. I just forgot to delete that one. So, Goblin, what are you thinking so far of this? You're in love? Good. Good. I'll have to... We'll definitely have to play around with that. You know, some of this is just, like, general structure stuff. So we'll have to figure out, like... You know, obviously textures and... You know, how do we want to dress, like... The theater here? You know, what is this building? You know, obviously signage and stuff like that on certain ones. Still got a lot to figure out, but... I feel like this is coming along. Normal. Wait, that was not what I wanted. Hold on. Better. But we'll have to figure out exactly, like, I was just, with these sails right here, I was just kind of playing around with things similar to how Sean had those triangles in the first one. Again, for anybody who's hasn't watched any of my streams before, a lot of this stuff right now is just kind of playing around and figuring out what we like, what we don't like about either the layout or some of the elements. So I was just kind of playing with different tiers of these, and then I started playing around with drooping them. I don't know how I like that or not, but these two different building heights kind of give, you know, a bunch of different kind of tiers to that, which looks kind of cool from here. And it looks kind of weird from, like, certain angles. So, I don't know about it. This whole area is turning out really nice. I personally think a lot of this doesn't need to move at all. I don't see too much reason to keep changing and iterating if it's looking and feeling good. Yeah, I think it's feeling well. I think there's going to be, as we get into more of the actual art pass and stuff, we'll have to play around with stuff, especially in the marketplace, to get, like, is it hitting that feeling that we want? So we may have to play around with some, you know, different ideas and stuff like that. So, like, how are we doing stuff on the little stands and things like that? You know, playing around with, like, where do we want sails and drapes and stuff like that. Playing around with colors, because right now these are just the tent texture thrown on there. You know, these are literally just the blank vertex color one right now, so that it's just glowing white because I don't have anything on there. One thing that was cool though, let me see if I can actually let me hop back into the game real quick. I was actually liking how it looked at night. Granted, it needs a pass on like lighting and torches and things like that, which I'll eventually get around to doing. Probably sooner rather than later. At least getting an initial couple in certain areas so it's not pitch black. But the nighttime lighting in it was actually looking kind of cool. But that's just me. Haha. There might be layout stuff to change. Actually, true. Yeah. So there are some layout things that may get adjusted, and a lot of, what I have so far has been a lot of adjustment. And it's just kind of playing around with like, okay, here's the initial shape. How does this work? But I really like how some of this lighting, how it's starting to get that city feel even at night. Granted, there needs to be light. There's, this is the night market, so it comes alive at night. So, torches and stuff. So this area would be much more lit. But just some of these angles and stuff are really, even without too much light, just the silhouette of this stuff. And right now there's only a couple of those little spires on the third tier, but like, I love how it's already starting to kind of play off of that, and having these very much aligned towards the I'm totally blanking on the name, ziggurat. The kind of ziggurat structure we have going on down there. But yeah, really kind of playing off some of these line of sights, so you kind of know where you are in the city, even if it's getting pretty congested in an area. And again, this is fairly open. We could potentially even have another building right here if we really wanted to. I'm probably not going to, but there is space for stuff. I might make this a little wider. I'll make both of these steps wider, maybe 3s instead of 2s. But yeah, I'll have to figure out like how we want to do torches. I know on the initial buildings that we were using from before I was on the team, and then excuse me, and then had been still using, once I redid these buildings, there had been kind of like big, almost like brazier fire pits here. I don't know if we want to still do something like that in the bazaar section or not. But I'll definitely need, some lighting to kind of bring it alive at night. For anybody who's not aware, the market, again, it's called night market, because it kind of comes alive at night because it's too hot during the day. So a lot of the merchants, the idea is a lot of the merchants and stuff will be inside the temple. Whoop, that was a weird lag spike right there. So they would actually be inside the temple down here during the day to escape the heat. But this whole area is not at all laid out. Right now it's just a giant tunnel into a giant rectangular room. But this will be something that we'll have to tackle, because eventually going to be encounter spaces in here, and then a smaller market area for the daytime. But again, there's so much to tackle in this city. The city's gigantic, but it is fun. Finally, like getting some of this area built up. Besides just the walls, that really starting to kind of hit that city feel. Me and Ham kind of got to talk more about like this area, like what we want to do with this. It could just be more city, more housing, that type of thing. But oops, there is a funky seam right there. You guys can see the water's shining down there. Oop, was that another one? Nope. But yeah, so, you know, kind of playing around with that. I think this house is going to have, I just need to figure out where. I think it might be down here. This is going to have a little kind of either stairway down there. But granted, you're going to, like, basically get into this house, like, slightly down, probably like a meter or two down, into that. But I like how it's starting to feel like a city. And it's feeling, again, kind of that Arabian Nights fantasy type city. You know, lots of different levels and kind of playing off of that. Still need to play with this a little bit. I don't know. I'll figure that out at some point. I need when I do the whole pass on this area, I'll figure that out. Yep. Got a weird bug where the character kind of pops off of corners weirdly and shoots up into the air like that. Just like that. So, again, part of the fun of open development is you guys get to see all the weird bugs that are in the game as we're developing. Kind of like the weird kind of Superman Mission Impossible jump that we have in here right now. We reworked the character animation. Oop. Apparently I need to fix the stairs because the collision's screwed up there. And I need to clean up these stairs anyways because right now the collision on them, as you can see, is every step. And actually a lot of them are still that way. I have to go through and do a collision pass where I turn them into ramps. Ramps for collision and visual of steps. 10, 6, 7 a.m. Stop running around in the dark. You guys can see a little bit better. I apologize for anybody who I just blinded. If you're in a dark room. I think this one I'm going to have an entrance over here and an entrance over here, and then you kind of walk into the main space over here. I may end up extending this out a little bit. But if I can get away with the interior feeling good without having to extend this out, maybe having some like awning type, maybe market stand or something like that on the front of it. And then I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this building still, and this building. I'm going to have to redo this ramp here, and then you get into the second story of this building from here, and then there'll be probably a ramp or a stairwell up into the third. And then each side here kind of has a space for like a store or an apartment or something like that, whatever we want to do with those. And then I'm thinking of using this style. I played around with it a little bit, but this is Pro Builder stuff. I need to actually go into Maya, to model this, just because it's a little bit more intricate. than I want to do in Pro Builder because it's got a subtle curve here. It's just way easier to do that in Maya. I can use a spline and then just extrude along it and then dial in how many subdivisions I need to get it to give me the curve correctly. Ooh, I need to play around with these shapes a little bit on a building. Is there the building still here I could do that with? I suppose this one. But I have a seam I need to fix before I forget. Oops, going the wrong way. Right there. Oh, looks like I deleted that face. Let's bring this up. Down. Oops. Damn it. Merge that. Double check that's not sticking through a wall somewhere down below or something. Okay, looks good. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. And I don't think I want any windows on this lower portion. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. I want a window below that one. Oops, that is definitely messed up. Okay, I realize, out of context, this question is weird, but has there been any progress on the guards attacking players if they are naked? Super curious on how that will turn out. I do not believe that has been started on, so no, there has not been any progress, minus, you know, us mentioning it. But it has not actively been worked on, as far as I'm aware. I mean, everybody's always doing something, so maybe someone has started playing around with that, but it's not one of those things that we're like, that needs to be worked on right now. But it sure will be kind of funny when it actually does get worked on, for sure. I can actually delete some of these faces that'll never be seen in game. Hold on. There we go. I gave myself so many extra edge loops because I was trying to play around with this. This apartment here is potentially being 2 rooms and stuff, and I was like, oh, it needs more space, but I didn't want to like enlarge the building too much more than it was, so. Where else could I put a window? Or does it need a window? I'll put one right here. I love how Pro Builder, when you do an extrusion like that, just completely just breaks its ability. Oh no! Fatal error. Not only did I just break Unity's ability to understand what was going out the UV, I just completely broke Unity. Which means I need to fix that seam again, I'm pretty sure. Rip. Yep. Honestly, though, it hasn't crashed on me all that often, so... Hold on. Is it going to continue to crash on me? Because that's going to be awesome. Because if it keeps crashing, it means that... Yep. Oh, God damn it. Hold on. Let me see if I can task kill it. Otherwise, I may have to end the stream because I may have to restart my computer. No. Fingers crossed. Damn it. All right. What is going on? Alright, give it one more try. And if it doesn't launch, I'm just gonna end up having to call the stream a little bit early while I try to fix this off off stream. I'm not sure why it hasn't done this before. Worst case scenario, I have to just revert. Yep. Alright, guys. Well, for anybody who's new, unfortunately I can't show you because I don't know why my Unity is not working, but we are making an indie MMO that is very much rooted in the classic first generation MMOs. And, you know, so think your Ultima Online, your EverQuest, Asheron's Call, you know, those late 90s, early 2000s. That is a link to our, excuse me. That is a link to our website. if you'd like to learn more about the game. We also have a Discord community. We've got like 1,050 people in there now. There's always conversations going on there. I gotta get caught up. You guys were chatting it up over the weekend, and I am behind. But all the developers are in there. We're all pretty active. So if you guys have any questions for us about the game, or just want to talk about game design in general, tabletops, all sorts of stuff in there, feel free to join. We'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to stay up to date on the game but don't want to join the Discord, the mailing list is a good thing to subscribe to. We'll send out, you'll get a copy of the update when it goes out, and potentially polls and things along those lines. There's other members on the team that stream. There's 11 of us. About half the team streams in some to some level. So make sure to throw everybody a follow. We all stream our different parts of the game. I am specifically environment art and level design. I was, as you can see, I was building our new city, or the new version of our proof of concept city. So yeah, and then also we have the YouTube channel. If you'd like to get caught up on past VODs, all of our past VODs are up there. So check them out. If you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, and all of that to help us out with the algorithm to kind of get the game out to more people. And then also, if you are watching on YouTube and you'd like to follow along, or you'd like to participate in the live chats during one of my streams, there's somewhere down below in the description should be a link to my Twitch page, Patus the Ranger. Throw it a follow, and then excuse me, and then you should get a notification whenever I go live, which is currently Monday nights at 8 p.m., Wednesdays at 1 p.m., and that's both Eastern Standard Time, and then Friday sometime between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. I usually try to get a stream in. With that said, starting next week, I probably am only going to be doing 8 p.m. streams. So if I do a Wednesday and a Friday stream, they'll be 8 p.m. and that's all in Eastern Standard Time. So yeah. I apologize, guys, about having to cut out, but I'm definitely going to have to restart the computer and stop the stream, and then hopefully that is enough to clear it up, but if it's not, I'm going to have to kind of dive in and figure out what's going on with my Unity all of a sudden. And it's not something I'll probably be able to do on stream, and then if I pop back in late, it's only going to be for a couple more minutes anyways. So thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening. Wish I could have went the full 2 hours, but unfortunately, Unity is not being my friend tonight. So I will catch you guys on Wednesday, and then yeah, have a good one. Bye.